Okay, so today I make a couple of trades. My overall buying power was 290s. I spent like most of it on today trades. Overall I break even today. My biggest loss was $3, 360, and then basically break even, continual break even. So yeah, I traded like 5 times I think. Let me check. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I traded 5 times. Um, today's were okay. Trading the process, they were okay. Just over traded a bit, and poor executions on one trade. Um, held for too long on another trade. It didn't sell into got profits. Um, was holding for a higher move. Um, that was one trade, but that was a green trade. Yeah. So here's my screen. So the ticker that I was watching pre-market was GRIL. I was watching this move. When I saw it, it was already coming down, and it was around here that I was watching it. I missed the higher low here. Why did I enter at 236? Here is because I was thinking that it can maybe move back up to like 250s and then break VWAP and higher. And it's also because it was making a higher low. You see here? So about 230 is about 230 is the low, and the higher low was 233. So when I enter at 233. Why? 236. Why? Because it broke the downtrend. It was uptrending again, and since it was making a higher low, I thought that was it had potential to move back up. So I entered at 236. My risk was 230. So risking 6 cents, making like 14 cents. So that's a 2-to-1 ratios. But if it could break a VWAP, that'd be like a 3-to-1 risk reward. And my goal was up here, breaking VWAP. And and then it moved like to the 240s really quickly. And this move right here, it confirmed that 233 hold. So at this point, I I took I moved my risk up to 233. And then it constant downtrends and then sideways. And I did not like that. So I basically just get out. I basically just get out. And what happened was I got out for a 30-cent loss. Well, overall with 1 cent per share loss. So it was a good trade. I cut my losses because I didn't like the sideways action. So, and what happened? It came back, it dipped down to 233, came back to 240s, and then it flushes. So yeah, saving capital preservation, some mental preservation too. So this is good. At least I wasn't in for the flush because the trade it didn't move like I wanted. What I wanted was a gradual move up and then a quick squeeze past VWAP, and that's what happened right here. It squeezed back up. I did not trade this move, even though it's uptrending and making higher lows, because I wasn't able to find a good entry, and it was very close to the open too. As you can see here, it moved up, and then it did a very quick dip to 210s right before it spiked back to like 250s. So I didn't find a good entry around here because it wasn't like making a an ABCD looking chart, a higher low. I've waited, and my opportunity came here. I saw that it was moving from 204 to like 216, and then it dipped. It just have a very uh, higher low, so 208. And I entered at 213.5, so basically around 214. And at this point, my risk was 204. My goal was to sell into the break of VWAP. And it did a quick spike, and I sold half of my positions at 230. And then it flushes because people are taking profits. And it bottomed at 215, and it moved again. What I should have done is sold maybe half of the fitting position size that I have here, so that I will only have like 7 to 8 shares left for a higher move, right? Instead, I held, and at this point, I basically, since I already took a profits here, I didn't want to give back any, so I basically decided to get out if my entry was hit, and my entry did get hit. But the thing was, it bounces off my entry, and what it did, it moved all the way to the 260s, and it like 260, 270, and it double top up here. I watched this whole move. It was very nice, very nice. There are like entries that on the break of VWAP, entries right here in the 220s, risking like 213. So 10 cents a share, you can make like pretty much 1 to 4 of your money. Risk 1 to 4 risk reward. So it was a good risk reward on this whole move. And I was drawing the trend line too. What I should have done better, instead of exiting on my risk, exiting when the trend broke. Trend. It downtrended and the trend broke. The uptrend that I drew right here, it broke. I should exit it like in the 20s, but it's fine. And I basically just watched it. This was my last trade for the morning, really. My last trade for the morning. After this trade, I only have like 36 to $37 of buying power. And I was I wasn't gonna use it. And the opportunity came. Could have made like could have made back some of my losses here. But yeah, tiny ABCD right here. Higher lows, lower highs, higher lows, move up, break of the highs here, and then right here, quick profit taking, hold VWAP, and then spike up. Very nice. And for the rest of the day, the stock moved down. Nice higher lows in the afternoon though. Even though it's just a small move from like the 90s, that's still like 20 cents a share. So that's still like 10%. So yeah. And then another trade that a trade that I made pre-markets was on YVR right here. I should never have entered on this trade. Shouldn't have. Why? Because when I entered, it was making sideways actions. It wasn't making the upward move that I want to see. And my risk was 208, and it broke. So I basically got out at 207 on this quick flush. It flushes to the $2. So took a small paper cuts here. As you can see here, it didn't move back up, making higher lows, but it basically traded sideways all the time. I missed this whole move right here because I was watching something else. A good buy was a break of this a breakout of the sideway action. So about like basically a break of VWAP. So 214, 215 entry, risking 210. So you can make like 3 times your risk. But still, I missed it. And it wasn't it wasn't a setup that I want to focus on. So yeah, and it has been trading downwards. It went into the red, I think. Or not the red, but like it went to like 10% gain. So it was a very nice move. Pre-markets. When I first saw it, I saw it down here. It was news was just coming, and yeah, and I didn't trade it because I was focused on GRIL and DSS because they were the stock that I was watching from Friday night. And then my first entry on DSS wasn't good. As you can see, it didn't break the downtrend, and I entered at the top of the candle. I I entered on the buy the ask, and when I bought it, it dipped down further. My risk, let's see, my risk was the low, like 43 around there. My entry, my ideal entry was in the low 50s. So 51, 52, 53, those are okay. My ideal entries were there. But I bought at the top on a poor entry. What I should have done was wait for the trend to actually break. The downtrend was still there. There's still downtrend resistance. And so with that, I got chopped. Took a bigger loss than I wanted it to. As you can see here. I only went with 10 shares though. And then I basically watched this whole move. I basically watched this whole move. Yeah. After my trade on GRIL, I basically watched the whole move from like $5 to $7. It has so many good buying opportunities here. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then basing up there, and then making lower highs. And then the afternoon came. I stopped watching the stock. I basically stopped watching after like 11 o'clock because it was like making lower highs. And then it was very nice higher lows moving back up. And when I watched it again, it was already around here. I chased it. I only since I only have like a small buying power, I only entered with 4 shares. I was being patient with it. My risk was 680. So risking like 80 cents. My goal was in like not six my goal was in like the 550. Yeah, in the 550. It moved, I was patient, so it moved up to like not 550, 750. I was being patient. And it moved to like 640s. It's close to the 650s. I should have sold up here. Like sell half of my position size here. I held and held. It moved back up, it moved back down, and they hold this support. Like the $7 support. And it moved back up. And on this green candle, I just decided to sell half of my position size. So I sold 2 shares at 737. And then it moved back up It moved higher, and I sold one share at 720, 757. So basically, averages at 747. It was okay. My mistake, my mistakes was not selling all my position up here, or at least not selling like in the 50s again when it was coming back here. It make a double bottom here, but I was already seeing that it was making a head and shoulder, which was a bearish sign. And that's what happened. It made a head and shoulder. And so I took my losses. I sold all my shares at my last shares at 716. It's fine. It's still profits, but could have been better if it was in the 750. I sold into the flushes. When seeing a head and shoulder forming, just get out. And to keep my convictions on this trade, when on my entry, when it was like making this quick spike to the 20, I drew the line. It was uptrending. Very nice though. And yeah, trading sideways like consolidating is consolidating aftermarkets. So overall today I make like I basically break even. I break even on the trade. Traded too much really. It's better to just trade once on like an ideal setups. One thing for sure, I was tempted to buy a couples. Let's say I was tempted to buy this move right here at the open. I was tempted to buy here because it made a lower high and a higher low, A, B, C, D. So A, right? So a high at 575, a low at 520, and a lower high, not lower high, a higher low at 533. So I was tempted to buy on this on the break of this trend, right? But then I didn't like the price actions, or I hesitated really. I hesitated on the entry. That's what happened. I hesitated, and it made a quick move, a very big spike, a 30-cent spike, and I basically stopped, didn't want to chase it, and just watched it. And it was a good decision because it cracked 75 to the 80s, and then it flushes like very quickly, break my risk. So it was a good ABCD, but it wasn't a good quick. It wasn't good gradual move up. It it spiked right at the turn. So yeah, I was tempted to buy here, but it was good that I did not because of what happened. There were like a lot of emotions being played here. As you can see here, a lot of emotion. Back to GRIL. Let's see. Yeah. Reason why I didn't buy into these to these spikes, like it was because it's the open and I didn't know how to trade it. So I basically questioned myself, do I even know how to trade this? What is my entry? What is my risk? I questioned myself on this one. So I did not trade it. And it was good that I did not trade it because It was moving way too fast. And I waited for the better entry here. Even though I got chopped. But it was a better entry than over here. What could have done was what I might have done, or could have done here, was let my risk let it come down and hold on to my risk at 208. Not at 208, but like at 204 or on this low right here at 208, 209, 208. Could have just let it come down to there. If it hit there, took the loss for a chance of a bounce instead of risking my entry. But it already happened, so no regrets. Took a small $2 profits here. And with this trade, it went down from 360 to like 114, 112. So I basically lost. I went red 112 during the open, the first hour, the first 2 hour, small red, and then my trade on DSS in the afternoon make my accounts break even. So overall, it's a break even day today. There are a couple good trades in there, but just need to like be more patient with my entry. As you can see here, it was a FOMO play here, and what happened? I bought at the top, and it hit my risk. So that's how it is. So today was break even. That's okay though. And that'll be all.